If you look at what the president said at G7 and what he says when I discuss these issues with him, that he's very upset that we're in a world where there isn't free trade, where the U.S. has no barriers and lots of other folks have big barriers. And, you know, I was at the OECD had a conference in Washington last week, and they did a simulation of what if Trump's vision becomes true and trade barriers around the world are lowered to the U.S. level. And it was really good news for the world and good news for us because we're disproportionately harmed. Now, the president's a great deal maker. He's a good negotiator, and he's out there. He's very insistent about getting reciprocal trade deals. But that's his long-run objective, and I think it's a solid one, and the economics of it is really irrefutable.
All right, I got another angle for you here. So,
okay.
You know, I mean, I'm going to ask a question. It's the most obvious question that anyone would ask, obviously, and that is, aren't you sort of taking away from the benefits of the tax cuts by doing the tariff stuff right now? You know, that's like a knee-jerk in an obvious question. But here's the way I'll ask it. We just had Seth on from the chief economist at UBS, who was an Obama guy in that administration. He said the Fed needs to raise rates and is raising rates to cool down the economy because the economy is running too hot. That would seem to me to say if you're ever going to do a trade, if you're ever going to address these long-standing systemic issues where we're not getting a fair shake, and you got to slow down the economy anyway because it's too hot, why don't we do it now? This is a good time to maybe tap the brakes and accomplish something long-term in terms of fairer trade. How's that? Use that.
Right.
You can use that.
You know, yeah, something that we both know and have followed over the years, 20 years I've been on Squawk, is that when uncertainty is high, then that's difficult for markets, and it does depress activity a little bit. And I think that we're going from an old world to a new world. We're going to get to that new world. That's a big positive change in trade policy. But the uncertainty over it right now is something that's, you know, definitely palpable. You can see it. And you know, second quarter GDP now is well north of 4%. The tax cuts are working. There's a capital spending boom going on right now. And so I think that you're right, that if right in the middle of the financial crisis we added some uncertainty over exactly how are these negotiations going to work out, then it would be pretty harmful then. But right now the economy has got a lot of forward momentum.
So Kevin, do you agree with this? This is the headline in the Times over the weekend. Just the fear of a trade war is straining the global economy. It goes on to say as the conflict broadens, shipments are slowing at ports and air freight terminals around the world. Prices for crucial raw materials are rising at factories in Germany and Mexico. Orders are being cut and investments delayed. American farmers are losing sales as trading partners hit back with duties of their own.
Right. I mean, we are in a period of uncertainty, and that period of uncertainty is visible in some places. You can see it in lumber prices and steel prices and so on. But again, the president's long-run objective is one that I think all economists should share, which is to get, like think about all of the barriers in China. Think about the fact that China is stealing more than $100 billion a year worth of our intellectual property. And then when you model, you know, what happens to us if we get China to change that policy, then you start out, if you can get them to stop the theft, you know, plus $100 billion. And so that there's a lot of positive that could be targeted through these negotiations. And I think we're all hoping that cooler heads will prevail and this will end up in a really good place.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.